You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
I am back. Rodgers for Black and White Sports 2. If you're new to the channel, make sure you punch that subscribe button, like, comment, share. Check out the podcast wherever fine podcasts are available. All of our audio from all of our channels, the Big Sports Channel, this Sports Channel, and Network are up on audio, Spotify, Apple, Google, Castbox, you name it, Breaker. So we're going to talk a little bit more about this Aaron Rodgers 49ers thing. I just got done listening to Boomer and Geo talk about this. Very interesting thing happened on Boomer and Geo this morning. Now, you might be like, wait, Aaron Rodgers and the 49ers. In case you didn't hear yesterday, Craig Carton of WFAN, who's actually got a national Fox Sports show now, the Carton Show, I believe it's called, says that there has been conversations behind the scenes involving multiple third-round picks and next year's first-round pick of the 49ers being sent to the Packers for Aaron Rodgers. Now, this has been going on a while. We've been waiting for this Aaron Rodgers thing to get sent through and get done and stamped. Become a Jet. He intends, and we got to remember, he said, my intentions are. Not, I'm going to. My intentions are. That does leave an escape route. It does, okay? Now, Niners have salary issues. I know some people brought that up. Look, the way this works in the NFL is any team can sign any player to just about any contract. Why? Because they can move around salaries, flip them into bonuses, all this stuff. It can be figured out. Because right now they got 3 quarterbacks on the roster that are totaling about $10 million. Something in that neighborhood, right? Brock Purdy costing nothing. Niners got their starting quarterback as of right now is Brock Purdy. He's got a UCL injury in his elbow, his throwing elbow. And this is Aaron Rodgers' childhood team. So, now, the other thing that I believe that is intriguing about this is the fact that if you're the Packers, and if you're a Packers fan, I understand all this has been moving in the direction of the Jets. But if you're a Packers fan, don't you want your team to get the most value out of Aaron Rodgers that they can get? And I'm sorry, but as of right now, we believe the Jets have offered a second and a conditional second next year. Well, no matter how you slice it, 2/3 and next year's first is a better trade package for Aaron Rodgers. And that's the rumor that Craig Carton put out there, that there have been conversations between the Packers and the Niners on a multiple third-round pick and then first-round pick next year scenario, if the Jets deal falls through. Now, the Packers could very well have floated all of this, right? Just come out and floated it because they're trying to put some pressure on the Jets to give up that 13th pick overall and to get the deal done with the Jets. That's absolutely possible. They put it out there, put pressure on the Jets. Let's pull the trigger, get the deal done. Okay? And I don't think Aaron Rodgers, I didn't see where he went on Pat McAfee's show yesterday. A lot of people were waiting. Is he going to go on there and shoot this 49ers thing down? A couple weeks ago, whenever it was, a month ago, he said, I'm not playing in San Francisco. Now, of course, a couple of years ago, the Mac Jones Trey Lance draft, the Niners called the Packers about trading for Aaron Rodgers. And Aaron Rodgers even said, I thought I was going to San Francisco. Before that draft, and word has it, he was pissed that he did not get traded to San Francisco. Okay? A lot of people, I didn't bring that up yesterday, but I forgot about it. He was mad that he did not get traded to San Francisco because he was aware that the team had a ton of talent and the direction it was going, right? And that's been one of his problems is weapons, and for the 49ers, the cup runneth over with offensive weapons. There's a lot of things here. Trey Lance, look, he's just not going to make it, all right? He's probably going to be a backup for a few years and then out of the league. Trey Lance is exactly the kind of guy that could end up in the XFL or the USFL at some point. So this leads us to this morning on Boomer and Gio. Gio got handed a letter that he received like yesterday, okay, and the letter had time sensitive wrote on it. And it was an anonymous letter. The guy said, look, he put his name on there, but he would not give up his source. All right. And he said, look, I can't give up my source because it would put their job in jeopardy. But the letter said there is a trade scenario involving the 49ers absolutely in the background in this Jets-Packers Aaron Rodgers deal. That's what the letter said. Now, I'm also fully aware that Boomer and Gio may be floating this letter just to, throw shit in the saga, right? See if some dude like me will actually come out and report it. I'm not saying this is news. I'm not. I'm just telling you what the letter said. All right? I am not. So don't say, oh, Boomer and Gio said blah. No, I'm not saying that. All right? He got a random letter. Could be completely fake and completely bullshit. I want to make sure that's on record here. But it's interesting. That I'm rooting for interesting. And look, I'm a 49ers fan. I am here. Okay? That's how this channel started, is I wanted to talk about the Niners, and it evolved over time into NFL and pro wrestling and UFC, and we wanted a second sports channel, okay? So anyway, that's neither here nor there, but I want to put that out there because, yeah, I am a Niners fan. I absolutely love Brock Purdy, but Brock Purdy's hurt, and we got a win now roster. All right? Even though I think Sam Darnold might shock everybody in Kyle Shanahan's offense, if you're going into the season, Aaron Rodgers just sounds better than Sam Darnold. All right, because we don't know whether Brock Purdy is going to be healthy by the start of the year, and my gut feeling is he won't be. Okay, so he may be, but my gut feeling is he will not be. Now, and Florio got involved in this too, by the way. The 49ers are an intriguing team to mention in this context. 2 years ago, it was the 49ers who called the Packers regarding whether they'd trade Rodgers to San Francisco the day before the draft. The Packers quickly said no. The news of that 11th hour effort hit the fan as draft day unfolded. It literally broke just as the draft was coming on. I remember that. More recently, it's been believed that the Packers would not want to trade Rodgers to another NFC team, specifically not to the 49ers. It would be a surprise if it happens. Absolutely. All right. All of this talk may be for naught, but, I'm here to talk about something, and this is definitely something to talk about. Rodgers has decided to go to New York. While he can change his mind, surely he didn't use the word intention accidentally. The idea that he'd stick it to the Jets simply because the Packers are being too stubborn with New York, but suddenly would be less stubborn with the 49ers, would set Rodgers up for intense criticism for playing some sort of shell game with the Jets. Yeah, but at the same time, there's not shit he can do if the Packers are unwilling to close the deal, and if the Jets are unwilling to close the deal, then what can you do at this point? The Packers would take some heat too. Last week, Jets GM Joe Douglas tried to avoid by shutting down any chatter about exploring a pursuit of Lamar Jackson as, quote, disingenuous and negotiating in bad faith. If the Packers pivot to the 49ers, wouldn't that be the same thing? Abso-freaking-lutely. Okay? I mean, if the Packers pivot, they're going to look bad. But at the same time, and I brought this story up because this talks about quarterback options for the Jets, and it's a lot of Ryan Tannehill, stick with Zach Wilson, of course, trading for Lamar Jackson, that kind of thing in there. Ryan Tannehill's kind of interesting, but that's neither here nor there. Carson Wentz, yikes. Matt Ryan, yikes. So it could turn out to be a nightmare scenario for Jets and the Jets fans. But this is all very crazy. It's all very interesting because, again, if you're a Packers fan, you're going into the year with expectations you may not even win the division because you know you're starting Jordan Love, you don't have Brett Favre, you don't have Aaron Rodgers. Okay, so you may not even make the playoffs. Would you not rather see your team take the best trade offer that they receive? Why do you give a rip if it would be the Jets or the Niners? I mean, seriously. Well, the Niners are in the NFC. If the Packers think about that, truly think about it, well, they're in the NFC and we may not make the playoffs. Fuck, we might as well make this trade anyway and get all the collateral out of it. Get the 2/3 and the first because that is the better trade. All right? So, and you never know. The Niners could be like, hey, here's Trey Lance. Ta-da, take him. Well, throw Trey Lance in and you can develop him behind Jordan Love. You never know. Maybe he turns into a trade asset for you later and you flip him somewhere else. Right? So there's a lot of scenarios that could go on here, and that's what we do on this channel is we find stories and we talk about them and muse about them and see where we can go with this. I want it on the record. I absolutely still believe he's going to the Jets. I do. But this 49ers thing is really out of left field, and it's very interesting. It is. It is. And again, something about that Boomer and Gio letter just kind of tells me I don't know if there's a concoction of trying to stir up the pot there, all right? Or if they're looking to see if people will just report it, and then tomorrow they'll come out and be like, oh, that letter I received, it was complete nonsense. We just wanted to see how many people would run with it. I could see that too. Absolutely, I could. Now, Boomer Esiason said he absolutely believes this deal is still going to go on. But I would be remiss into not mention the fact that it felt like body language and things like that. And look, that's a thing. Body language and the way things are said. It did not come across nearly as definitive and confident as it did a week ago. That's a thing, okay? So, again, could just be how I interpret things, too. Could be possible, all right? But I still think the Jets end up getting it done. Because if this was something I did not talk a lot about yesterday, but if the Jets and all of this falls through, holy shit. That fan base is going to go utterly stupid and bananas. Rightfully so. We thought we were getting a 4-time MVP. Joe Douglas, he will be mud. Although I have gotten a few Jets fans in here that are like, we don't want Aaron Rodgers. Trade for Lamar Jackson or do something else, but don't give up the assets for him. I don't know. I have a feeling that's a minority of Jets fans, not the majority. But this would be a monumental black eye for Joe Douglas unless he can land a Lamar Jackson. I think that's the only way he could save face is if he got Lamar Jackson in the building. If he can't get Aaron Rodgers, Lamar Jackson's the only other place he can go. Really. And I think satisfy the fan base. Otherwise, New York sports radio is going to literally turn itself inside out regurgitating venom. It is going to be crazy as hell. And I mean, I would love to see that shit. I really would. Tell me what you think. Black and White Sports 2 supporters. The Rodgers thing, it's worth talking about. It's really interesting. Still think he's going to the Jets, but you never know. You never freaking know. And that's why the NFL is just... That's why the NFL does draw massive ratings, because even their off seasons, now that quarterbacks start moving around, their off seasons have become the greatest hot stove in the history of hot stoves, I think. Right? Peace. I'm out. Till next time, till later today when I put out a wrestling video and a Lamar video.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.